What's up, everybody? We are in Indianapolis at Uproar 2013. I got Sean from Class Rut. How's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
Awesome. I'm doing good. Happy to be here. I want to thank you for letting us onto your tour bus here.
Yeah.
It is very nice. It is. I like it.
Like the decor?
Yeah, I like it.
That's
It's,
bad, huh?
yeah. It's good, man. Uproar 2013, it's kind of a different lineup. We got Alice in Chains, we got Jane's Addiction. But it's a great lineup altogether. Great musical lineup.
Maybe more eclectic than some of the ones of the past.
Yeah, definitely. How's the crowd interaction and crowd energy so far on this tour?
It's cool. That one's super crazy. You know, it's not like a Slipknot show in Istanbul or anything.
That's
but
good.
yeah, I don't know. Those are cool too.
True.
No, it's fine, man. You know, just like it's kind of like our audience. We feel like in general is kind of a pretty good mix of like all ages and colors and religious backgrounds and sexual preferences and things like that. So you get the whole mix. Yeah,
that's good.
Yep.
Nice eclectic fan base.
Yeah, there you
it
go.
Sounds like.
Yep.
Awesome. What are some of the more interesting stories that have happened? We're about 3 weeks, but I think we're at about the halfway point for the tour right now. What are some of the things that have really stuck out to you?
We had a tiki party in Wantagh, New York. That was pretty cool. 16-hour drive to Canada with no power and no AC was pretty cool.
That doesn't sound
cool. No, it was the opposite of cool.
That sounds bad.
But it's funny you say that because actually everything, a tour like this, everything sort of blends into one long day, really, because it's kind of the same thing every day. We fall asleep, we wake up in a different place that looks, you know,
very similar,
different but similar, and the stages are always set up the same way, and it's like Groundhog's Day. It's pretty wild.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's Uproar is one of those tours. It's interesting because it's a festival, but it's also just a traveling tour at the same time. Kind of like Mayhem and Warped Tour, but unlike Warped Tour, you pretty much play at the same time each day.
Yeah, Warped Tour was fucking brutal.
You guys have played Warped Tour.
Yeah, I don't know how long ago. Maybe 2-3 years ago. We did Warped Tour, and that was brutal. It was like every day. You might get woken up at 9 in the morning. Hey man, you gotta play in an hour.
Oh,
you gotta get up, or it might be like, oh, you don't play till 7 or whatever it is. So it was hard to get used to that. This has been way smoother and just a lot more manageable. The size of it, we play around 4 every day. So
is it more similar to just a normal, typical tour, where you know what time you're playing each day? Everything's pretty much the same. Is it more similar to that?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I've done Warped Tour the last 2 years, and just talking to the bands on that tour, it doesn't sound like the most ideal scheduling situation in the world.
No, it's not ideal in any way, unless you're Warped Tour I think has become a certain thing, and I think it's sort of taken over by the next generation coming up, and so we felt a little bit out of place. We felt super out of place when we were there. Last time we did it, but I think for the kids that it targets and for the bands that kind of go along with that, it's probably amazing, regardless of what time you play. But
yeah, true. So it's been a great year for you guys so far. The new album is out, Pick Up Your Head, which is a great rock record. I've checked it out a couple times.
Cool.
Aunt Betty is a great song, one of my favorites.
Cool, thank you.
You guys did Rock on the Range earlier this year. Did the festival circuit earlier this year.
A couple of them, yeah.
Rock on the Range itself is just complete insanity. It doesn't matter what side of it you're on.
Yeah, that was
crazy.
That was awesome, actually. Soundgarden played that night.
Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah, that was a great lineup, man. Tell me a little bit about what this year has been like from your point of view and your end.
It's actually been pretty slow going. I mean, we compared to maybe years in the past, like around the time of the release of our first record, I felt like things were crazy. It was like a whirlwind. We probably went to Europe and the UK 6 times within a year and a half. Wow. And I think we've only been over there once in the last 2 years. So just to give you an idea, it actually has felt pretty mellow compared to that. I'm hoping that it's going to pick up. We're going to go back to Europe in November with Papa Roach.
Nice.
So that'll be cool, and hopefully things will pick up, again after Christmas.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
This isn't the first time you guys have played a show with Alice in Chains. You guys did toured with them back in 2010, I think.
Yep.
So it's going to be really cool to see you guys with playing the lineup with them again this year and today.
It's been cool to show up to this thing and be like, hey man, like have sort of friends that you remember, you know.
Maybe grew up listening to all those guys.
Yeah, the fact it's Alice in Chains.
Yeah. You get to see that set every night. Which is cool. I wish I could see that set every night.
Man,
I only get to see it tonight. But let's talk about the new album. Pick Up Your Head. It's a great album. Talk about, you know, when you got ready to sit down and start writing and record, put that album together. What was that process like compared to, because the sophomore album I've heard is a little bit different than writing the debut. You got your whole life to write the debut, as though the saying goes, and the sophomore album is
it's true, and like with the first record, we didn't even really know we were writing a record, so to speak. We didn't, like, most of the songs were written just jamming. Some of them we didn't even have a band. We didn't even have like the concept of this turning into a band. It was just more like, let's get together and just write some music like we always have. So that was the biggest difference, obviously, for the second record. Now we've got a band and the whole machine's in place, and you've got, you know, the whole team of people around you. It's a different mentality, and that's probably what makes it kind of hard to, probably why people struggle with the second one, is it feels maybe a little bit high pressure or something, but we didn't really feel the pressure, and actually a lot of the songs that ended up being on this record had sort of been demoed and fleshed out for over the past couple of years, so a lot of the hard work was already done.
Okay.
We just kind of went in and just sort of assembled the pieces and
maybe
put it
tweaked
all.
a couple of them a little bit.
Tweaked most of them, really. I mean, with nothing remained unchanged, but for the most part, the groundwork was kind of laid, you know. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you started looking forward to the next record, thinking, well, we had a lot of these demoed, we got to write a lot of stuff for the next album? Have you started thinking about any of the stuff for the next one yet?
I have. I mean, it's early days still. You know, I think we'll be touring this record at least for another year, I imagine.
Most people tour for about a year or two on a record.
Yeah, I think we did 2 years or even more on the last one, so we've got some time left, but definitely excited. You know, I think we've got a few other dudes playing in the band right now, and it'd be exciting to get into a room. You know, you go on tour for a month, and by the end of that month, like, you're really just kind of on point as far as, you know, gelling together, and everybody's really working together well. It'd be nice to like capitalize off that and just go straight into a studio, even for a week or two, and just write a few songs and see what happens. You know, like this record is maybe it's less of organic of like sounding like a band just jamming in a room. It's not like that, and I think personally I would love to get back to some of that, just kind of, you know, we did that so much for a period of our life, and I think we kind of probably got bored of it, so we sort of left it behind, and we did some other shit on this record, and I think now I miss the other way, and I want to go back and do some stuff like we used to. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is it hard to believe that this tour is already like halfway over?
No. Feels like it's never ending. It's crazy, and it's not because it's bad, but it is because it's, for our set is 25 minutes long. We show up, we arrive on site at 8 in the morning. We don't leave till 2 in the morning, and so 25 minutes of that entire time is spent actually working, so to speak. So it's a lot of just sitting. We're watching Looper right now. Like, we're watching Roseanne before that. Like, it's just kind of almost just hard to keep yourself, you know, occupied.
Hard to really stay motivated.
Yeah, I mean, that's why people end up drinking or just doing a shitload of whatever they're into, because it's boring, you know.
Tour life isn't all it's cracked up.
No, I don't think so. Maybe it was at one point, but it's definitely not.
Maybe
right
back
now.
in the 90s.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really interesting when I talk to a lot of bands. You know, I'll be like, what's one of the craziest tour stories? They'll just tell me about one night when they got lost trying to get to the city they were going to.
Yeah.
And it's not at all what you would imagine it to be.
No, it's not, man.
The touring is not fun.
It's definitely there. We have no stories that would even come close to all the stories that we've read about our favorite bands. You know,
right?
We can't match the Shark and the.
Might not want to either.
Probably not.
In some ways, probably don't want to. But man, thank you so much for taking
guys,
time
man.
and letting us on your bus.
Absolutely.
It's been great. Looking forward to seeing you guys out there.
Thanks.
Middle Class Rut.